PocaTV Wenzzzday.
Hi.
Hi there. Now
Hi.
I'm here. Hi.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm fine. What are you doing?
Just something on my phone. That's all.
Oh, okay. Anything related to the Ting?
Yeah, I was just sharing a Facebook post.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. I love it when that happens. So,
Yeah,
welcome back, DJ.
yeah.
We
You
got
too.
an action-packed show coming up.
Action packed. Yeah.
Action-packed. First things first. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Rubiales, the Spanish Football Federation coach, the one who said, I will not resign, I will not resign, I will not resign, I will not resign, I will not resign. Well, the man has resigned. So we can put this matter to bed now, can we?
Well, sort of, because there's a legal case still going on, isn't there? He's going to have to go to court. I'm
Yes.
curious to see how that unfolds. To be honest.
Yes, we will find out, and as time
Mm.
goes on. But for now, I really do not want to spend too much time talking about the man or where
Sure.
he decided to resign. He's gone, and there's more to come, and we will inform
He
our
was
viewers
he
in
was
due course.
he was pushed and he thought it'd be better if it came from him rather than be sacked. He was pushed. He didn't want to resign.
I know.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about his bank account. It will fill itself in due course. There is no reason for us to think that the man will be downtrodden and whatever.
No.
Okay, bygones for now. After long deliberation, I decided that you start today. What is your topic?
Topic is about Queen Ifrica accusing her father of raping her many years ago, and she's come out publicly in the last few weeks to actually say this.
Exactly. So
and
let's
Queen Ifrica. Sorry, for those who don't know, is Jamaican. She's a reggae artist.
She's a reggae superstar.
Okay, a reggae superstar. And for many years, for what it's worth, she was Tony Rebel's partner. And she's also his baby mother. I'm not sure how many children she mothered through
She
Tony.
has 2 children. I think they're both his, but I'm not sure. And it doesn't really matter for this story.
No,
so
I just thought I'd throw that in. Yeah.
Yeah. So she came out a couple of weeks ago and publicly on her TikTok/Instagram accused her father. We will get into who the father is. Of raping her many years ago. So that's how have the reactions been so far in Jamaica?
Well, from what I see, it's quite mixed actually, because a lot of people are saying she needs psychiatric help, women included. Saying that she's not with it, and how can you trust anything that she says when she has also come out with certain statements in the past that are almost preposterous. But we can get into that.
Yes, we can
later.
Interesting detail is that what actually shot Ifrica to fame, to the huge fame that she now has, is a song she sang. I think it was 2006 that it came out. Maybe it was
2009.
No, it's before that, because I have her on tape performing that tune.
Okay, it was released in 2009. That's the info that I found. Yeah.
Okay, which still doesn't match up with what I have, because this would not be PocaTV if I did not find a clip of her performing that song live.
Remember, artists sing songs before they're released because they want to promote them. So it could have been a few years before it actually got released. That's all.
Yeah. But by the time she sang it on that stage, everybody was singing it. It was a huge hit already. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was actually worried about not being able to show the tune because of the copyright thing. But this is my own archives. Nobody can take down my video. And I'm going to show it right now. This is the song Daddy. sung by Queen Ifrica many years ago before this whole thing started.
Stopping that. That is stopping now. I want to tell on you, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. And you see, I'm scared. You're supposed to be my father.
We spoke half a year ago. How have things changed for you since then? You've grown like into a superstar.
Yes, and I must say,
Congratulations.
thank you very much. We give thanks, you know, because a Rastafari works.
Yes.
I manifest.
Tell us about this song, Daddy. I hear it air all day.
Well, Daddy is a very serious reality that we as a people has to face. A lot of our young people are suffering from just the fact of living with that every day in their head, remembering what happened that night, the night after, the night after, the night after. So this is just a voice.
Abusing his child, right?
Yes. And this is just a voice to say that incest is wrong in any form.
Pick up yourself for that, because
Yeah,
I know that song has a great impact. I hear
Yes.
people sing it all day
Yeah, man.
long.
Yes.
Pick up yourself.
Give thanks.
Yes, so DJ, maybe you're right. Maybe the big hit came after this, but a fact is that it was on the radio. You hear me say that.
Yeah, man,
it was on the radio day in, day out.
Could have been a pre-release.
Yeah. Maybe you can give us a little rundown on what it is she sang, because many people might not have understood the text in all this.
So that was 2007. So that was 2007, 26 years ago.
16.
Sorry, 16. My maths. Yeah, 16 years ago, and she was 32 at the time when she did that performance. Now, the lyrics are very poignant, because it really does relate to her own personal experience. And the crux of the lyrics, I will say, it says, "Stop it, Daddy. Daddy, stop it now. I'm going to tell on you. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm going to tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I want to die. Feels like no one cares for me, and it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories. Why do I have to face these tragedies?" That's the excerpt I've decided to. Well, but I think that kind of spells it out, really.
It does. And whether or not it spells out her own situation remains to be seen. But what it does, it certainly shows her knowing of what goes on in the mind of somebody who has been molested in an incestual way. Is that a word? Incestuous way.
Yes, incestuous way, because it was her father.
Yes.
That's the allegation that she's making now.
Right. Okay, I'm going to invite people watching to join in if they so feel inclined. If you have any opinion on the Queen Ifrica situation, scan that code and head over to this URL if you're on a laptop, and join us here in the Orange Room at PocaTV, waiting for DJ Conscious and myself to pull you up on the screen and make us know what it is that you think about this whole Queen Ifrica situation. Scan the code, or on your laptop, head over to this URL. Remember, it is case sensitive. Wenzzzday 13 at bit.ly. All right, so go over there and join us if you so feel inclined. I have a comment coming in. Here is Rosalind. Yes, Ros, how are you?
Hi, Rosalind.
Good to have you with us. I wonder if you have any opinion about this whole Queen Ifrica thing. Maybe you haven't heard about it yet. But quick rundown, DJ has told us so far that Queen Ifrica came out quite recently on her social media and accused her father of abusing her many years ago. And now the whole of Jamaica is in turmoil because of this. So Rosalind, stick around And she says, no, she missed that. Well, now you're in the know. Stick around. Maybe you might form an opinion. Okay, so fast forward to a couple of weeks ago when the world, let's say, woke up to this post that Ifrica did on her social media. Tell us about that, DJ.
She did a video which was broadcast on Instagram originally, I think, where, in fact, the first 8 minutes was pure silence, and that was deliberate. She was sitting, which looked like a kitchen, and she was just looking at the screen and moving around. But I think that was definitely deliberate. It was all about the poignancy of the whole thing. That's how I regard it.
That's how you saw it. I saw it as mustering up
courage,
the courage to actually say what she was going to say.
I thought it was that too, probably, but
maybe she was waiting for many people to find out she was going live, and that's
well, maybe she was waiting for more viewers. Yeah,
exactly. Which is what we should do. We should sit like this for half an hour before we actually start talking. It was a very.
Go on.
No, yeah. Go on.
I was going to say we might not actually end up starting.
Yeah, serious business. It is a very lengthy video, over an hour, and I took snippets of that just so we can see the type of woman she is, and she kind of segues into what we shall be talking about after that. So here is a very, very small part of that video. And those minutes of silence, I took them and I sped them up so you have an idea. But it was actually very, very long. Here we go.
Now is the time. Now is the time to stand up for God, people. See? Those videos that the items me share, I'm sharing them so that you guys can have an understanding of what I go through when I say something. When Queen Ifrica says something, this is what I go through. For standing up for young people in this country, for standing up for women in this country, for boys in this country who are raped, abused, and no one is looking. So let me tell you one personal story about Queen Ifrica, Ventrice Morgan, Goody Two Shoes. I born out of a very prominent family here on the island. Derek Morgan, this Legend is my father. Derek Morgan.
Okay, and then she goes on to tell what actually happened. Can you fill us in just a few sentences, DJ, what she says happened?
He visited her when she was in bed and was touching her in places and actually raped her. That's what I thought actually happened, or that she's saying. Yeah,
what she basically said, she didn't know him as a child because he was not around, and at a later time she got in touch with him and she went out to meet him, and they talked for hours and hours, and by the time she wanted to go home, he said, no, it's too late, you better stay here, go lie in the bed. And she fell asleep and she woke up to him, I'm quoting her, penetrating her.
Right.
And okay, so this you go. You tell me what went through your mind when you heard all this.
Well, it's a shocking it's a shocking thing. I thought I knew about the tune that she did. I just couldn't remember what it was called, but I knew it was singing about that kind of thing. The tune Daddy. But I guess what's now happened is that she's made a formal. She's formalized this now. She's made it public that it actually happened to her. So that song Daddy was actually about her own experience.
Yes,
but at the same time,
something about which she wasn't very clear at the time. The song was a very big hit because the question was put to her many times, and she kind of dodged it and said, "No, it's about all the rape and
but I think a lot of time
on.
has passed. I think 2000 and 2007, something like that. So that's nearly 16 years has passed, and I think as time goes on, more and more women are coming out and not necessarily bottling it all up as it's too shameful to actually come forward. So I think shame plays a big part in women not coming forward with this. So she's older, she's probably wiser, and decided now is the time to actually, give her side of the story, to say what actually happened.
How did people react?
Well, I don't think many people were shocked, because I think a lot of people, at least because a lot of people saw the song Daddy as she was actually singing about her own experience anyway. So I don't think it's to an extent it's new news. To a lot of people, it will be new news to the younger generations, the younger people. But I also think that.
But hold on, but because from what I'm gathering, I'm just looking at my own social media. There's almost this pro and this con group, Team Ifrica and Team Derek, right? People are discussing this as if it's their business. Anyway, yeah.
Derek Morgan has said he's taking legal counsel against his own daughter, because he obviously doesn't want these allegations to continue. He obviously, presumably, he's claiming innocence. I don't think he actually used that word, but presumably he's disputing the allegation. Otherwise,
can we put Derek Morgan into perspective? You being DJ Conscious of ConsciousRadio.net.
He's famous. He's a legendary ska artist and a singer as well, and also in from ska to rocksteady. But I'm going to actually say something about her brothers or half brothers, Derek Morgan's sons, who are siding with him, with her father now. And one of his sons is a doctor. I'm not sure what kind of doctor. I just know he's just known as Dr. Morgan. And he just said she became defensive when the family began to ask her poignant and specific questions about various accusations, including the alleged rape or attempted rape. Those were his words. And he went on to say, and this is a quote, he went on to say, if you're in bed with Derek and you know he's blind, he has an illness which has affected his eyesight, especially at nighttime in the dark. So if you're in bed with Derek and you know he is blind and has neurological problems and he is feeling you up, why you never stop him and you can easily thump him down. She tell we pure bad words, and she never answered the questions. So me just shut up and tell her continue with the story. Me and my sister, Michelle, the one she loved, Joan Morgan and Troy, and all of we a look when she finally get up and gone. I asked what everyone thinks, and everyone said something wrong with her. Now, this is too easier. That's it. That's the end of the quote. So this is too easier way to explain away this kind of thing. Oh, if someone is accusing someone of doing something wrong, oh, she's the one in the wrong. She's the one that needs help, kind of thing. It's too easy to come out and say that. It's very hard to disprove that as well. And they know that. So they're trying to say she's making it's fantasy, that she's making it all up. That's the essence of what they're saying.
That's what always happens, doesn't it, DJ? Whenever a woman comes out and says, I was raped and it didn't happen like 2 seconds ago, and she's still there with all of her sweat and all her whatever and her wounds. And even then, if she goes to the police are going to ask her, what were you wearing? And maybe it's something you said that put it into the guy's head.
Maybe you led him on and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
All of that. And I mean, none of us were there. It happened a couple of years ago, but I do think, looking at the video that she did, which once again, I say it was over an hour of her talking to camera, crying, very desperate. I mean, it could have been an act, could have been, but you need to be a pretty darn good actor to act that. I think I said to you, only Anthony Hopkins can act that well.
Normally, when someone comes forward for this kind of thing, they're normally doing it. A lot of the time, I should say, they're doing it because they want something out of it. They want some money or something. But Derek Morgan doesn't. I don't think he has that. She's not doing it for that. So
I actually don't agree with what you say. I don't think.
No, but I was thinking of the Trump case where the
but let's not normalize that situation. I think most women, even when it's 40 years after the fact and they finally come out with it, it's because they cannot not come out with it. It's like this thing that keeps building up within them, is what I always hear. And
I think one of the reasons she's actually she did that they did that video is not just because she's gone through it, but for awareness and to make other people who are going through similar to come forward and don't be ashamed. It's not your fault,
And to be honest, she's been saying that ever since she's been on the reggae stage. That's been a topic that she's always been adamant about. She was even on Kabuma at Karu's program a couple of weeks ago, talking about this rampant rise in incest and in domestic violence in Jamaica. Let's briefly talk about that before I go to somebody who actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to these things. Tell us tell us a bit about what's been going on in Jamaica for a good number of years now, but ever since COVID, it's just gone up, up, up. What's the situation like for young women?
The statistics show, and these stats can only be based on what's been reported, which means the real position is much worse. It's gone up by 70%. These kind of incidents since COVID, and I think what they mean is since lockdowns, when people couldn't, they had to stay at home. That's what they really mean by that, I think. And,
yes, and let's not forget to mention that staying at home, in my situation, I got this lovely little apartment here. I got space. I got my gadgets. I got some money in the bank. I will survive. But in a country like Jamaica, this was often 8, 10, 12 people under one roof in 2 rooms. A lot of panic, no money coming in, a lot of stress. And we actually did see a huge rise in those numbers. The video I want to show now actually talks about that and then goes on to the comments made by a sexologist. Let's have a look at that.
Twerking, bubbling, getting on down. Popular culture celebrating a good time. But amidst the carnival of carnality, something dark lurking in the shadows.
We sell this country as a place for sun, sea, sex, and sand. And then we want to pretend that there's no sex happening in households, that people aren't incested, that people aren't molested.
The Child Development Agency reported over 4,000 cases of sexual abuse of children in the last year alone, and a 70% increase in such activity during COVID. Clinical sexologist Karen Carpenter only too familiar with the problem.
The registry had over 4,000 cases. I guarantee you that that is at least 1/10 of the cases that exist. I guarantee you that is much more prevalent than the cases that are with the registry. The human body is designed for pleasure, among other things. And the biological response to stimulation is pleasure. And what guilts the person, what makes them feel really ashamed, and shame is a big part of this, is that their bodies may respond even when their minds are saying no, even when they're fighting, even when they're pushing the person off. And if they're not physically able to push that person off, then their body is going to be responding in a way that they don't expect. And that is where the guilt lies.
Is social media going to blame the victim?
I think we're going to get a variety of responses. I think that many people who are silent will see that the person really struggled to come out and say these things. But they may keep silent because they themselves have been abused and they don't want to be pointed out as someone who's been a victim. Victims carry a lot of shame. I think social media has become our new confessor. We now have, gone from Oprah to the social media where everybody can speak. And I don't know whether it's good or bad. What I do know is that admitting it is difficult. Whether it's true or false is not the issue for me. The issue is once you've admitted it, have you got any help? I think we're going to see lots of different people coming out and making these admissions. For anyone who is making an admission like that, my advice is register at your local hospital and ask to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. The help is there within the public health system. You can get help.
So that's a lot to unpack, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she said some very, very telling things, and trying to explain why some women allow this kind of thing to continue because of the pleasure to what their brain, to the physical pleasurable side, even though if they know it's wrong in their mind, that in their mind they're saying no, but they're not actually, they're actually physically in some sort in pleasure as well, if you catch my drift. I didn't explain that very well.
No, I think what you mean is even knowing, even in resistance, if then the guy continues, it might end up, because that's the way the body is wired, it might end up in arousing you as a victim, even if everything else in your body says no, and you're screaming no, and you're beating the guy, and you're I don't know what. That's just a physical reaction. Another thing that she touched on that I found very interesting is to the question whether or not social media would blame the victim. What she said is that many people might blame the victim because it makes it easier on themselves, knowing that they too are a victim and they do not want to be pinpointed as being a victim. That to me was quite crucial in what she said.
Yeah, but that's not very helpful if that's
no, but that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole video starts with the numbers, and you mentioned them yourself. 70% up during COVID, but still so many cases in such a tiny population. It came to the point, DJ, where I took off my Jamaican newspapers on my phone because I was getting sick and tired of all the notifications of another rape and another murder of a child and her mother. It's every day. So what's going on in Jamaica? We need to ask the question.
What's the answer? You need to deter these people. They need to know that the abusers, the culprits, need to know that it's wrong. Even most of them probably do know that it's wrong. But
well, actually, Dr. Carpenter, I took that out because the video was too long already. Dr. Carpenter also explained that many of the perpetrators are victims themselves of some sort of physical abuse in their youth, and might not even know that what they are, that what their role in life is to protect the child and not to go around, penetrating her. So it's a very complex thing, and as long as people are not talking about it, which I'm afraid is really not happening right now in Jamaica. Yes, in my my corner of the island and in my circle, yes, people are talking about this, but out in the streets, people think it's very normal. And that's very disturbing.
Well, implying that it's normal. In other words, they don't think there's anything wrong with it.
And they blame the victim. She shouldn't have worn that. She shouldn't have this. She shouldn't have that.
Yes, she should have thumped him, as what her half brother said. You know, she should have. And she was 30. She was 32 at the. No, sorry.
No.
She hasn't said how old she was at the time.
Exactly.
My mistake.
Yes.
But obviously, one of the solutions has to be tougher sentencing. There has to be a deterrent. There has to be.
But do we not have to go 17 steps earlier and look where this has come from? Why is this happening, and why are these numbers on the rise? And then when we figure that out, that's when we can start coming up with measures and with what you call them? What did you call it?
Sentencing,
repercussions, sentencing. Yeah.
But
we
penalties,
need
punishment. Yeah.
Punishment. We first need to know why this is happening. I don't know. I do have a of course I do. I have this what you call it?
Theory.
A theory. Thank you very much. These numbers started going up exactly at the same time when the creepy churches came. When I say creepy church, I don't mean the big churches that were always in Jamaica. I'm talking about those new churches that come from the States. You know,
Kevin
the evangelic, for example, those churches where it's all about money, money, money.
Yeah.
Horrendous things have been happening on the island ever since those churches
human
Human sacrifice has even down my street. It happened in a church. And what happens with these churches? They go around targeting people. They know exactly who to target. And, it might be somebody who's in big debt. They pay off your debt. So you join the church and you have to do whatever they say that you have to do. Maybe you're alone in the world. They give you comfort. And in return, you have to do stuff that you would never have done. That's my theory. What say you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. But it's not all about the church. But what you're saying is the church is a big factor.
I'm saying that the rise, the enormous rise. I mean, it was always on the rise, and then it did that. And that moment, that coincides with the arrival of those churches.
I mean, it speaks volumes about the church and the Christian religion as well at the same time, because Jamaica is a hugely Christian country.
I would not want to call these churches actually Christian. Well, that's what they call themselves.
That's another debate. What is Christian? Is that actually typical of Christian? That's another debate.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's a topic for another show. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to say about this Ifrica situation? Well, what's up next? Do we know? Because she said she wouldn't be talking the rest of the year. Any news on that?
Yeah, but I think what happens now, as I said, her father has taken legal advice. He wants to take legal action. So let's see what happens with that. I mean, because if he wants to take legal action, that's a sign to me that he's saying he's saying that the allegation isn't true. Otherwise, why do it?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and if Queen Ifrica is prepared to go to the next step and actually go to court over this, then that's what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
With this
There's
case,
not going to be any proof, is there? There's not going to be any proof.
Well, what happens in these cases is his word against hers kind of thing. But that's just for that one specific case. But the more important thing is more on the macro scale. What is going to happen? She is calling out people. She knows, and we all know that she is not alone with this. She is not the only person who suffered this kind of abuse. So she's calling out on people to come forward.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
But will people come forward? Look,
according to Dr. Carpenter, yes, people are going to come out now because a person
I go
like
back to what the government said and the police said about grassing up on people you know who are gang members, and most of the people won't do it because they fear for their lives and repercussions. And I'm wondering if it could be a similar kind of reasoning as to why people wouldn't do it, because they fear repercussions. Because the chances are Derek Morgan, when this took place, was saying, this is between you and me. Don't tell anybody. This is private and we need to keep it. And he could have threatened her and said, if you do X, Y, and Z, who knows? And so this is going to be running through people's minds as well. This is quite prevalent in Jamaica. People think that way and they're scared.
Of course they are. And you're also scared of, because we're talking about family abuse, right? We're talking about your brother, your cousin, your dad, your uncle. That's what we're talking. We're not talking about Joe in the street coming to rape you. We're talking about domestic abuse. And people,
but just because it's
people are reluctant to turn in their brother, cousin, father, because your family is supposed to be where you are safe.
Yeah.
But Dr. Carpenter did say, somebody prominent like Ifrica coming out so very explicitly and doing this will probably trigger other people to do. I mean, it happened with the Me Too thing. This is a Me Too kind of thing. It happened, once people start doing it, more will be doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, you need to open the floodgates.
Yeah.
The floodgates need to be open. But I think for it to get to that stage, there needs to be a meaningful, positive outcome in terms of Queen Ifrica for this specific case, so that people can see, well, actually, Queen Ifrica's come out and said this, and she has successfully prosecuted or her father, if that's the right terminology, to give people hope that there is something positive at the end of the road if you go this route. Otherwise, they're going to think, what's the point? How's it going to change anything?
What it changes is that you don't live with that burden, and you know, sometimes what you always hear and read about these cases is the sister kind of knew but pretended she didn't, the mother kind of knew, the auntie kind of knew, but now maybe this is maybe this will help people in protecting each other while it is happening, because of course it's going to be very hard for Ifrica to prove anything now. It was years ago. But if a young girl in Jamaica watching PocaTV now, if it happens to you, go to the doctor, tell them about it, just like Dr. Carpenter was saying. Go to the hospital, tell your story, ask to talk to a psychiatrist. That's the first thing that needs to happen. People need to go find somebody they can tell this to, somebody who will believe them when it happens.
Yeah.
Or the day after.
And that itself is difficult in itself. Just to make that first step is always...
It takes a tremendous amount of courage, even for Ifrica. Whether or not it is true what she says, it doesn't matter. It takes tremendous courage for somebody to come out and say something like this. I have no reason to wonder whether or not it is true, because I see how she sits there and says it.
I think it must be true. I mean, why does she write the song Daddy if it's not true?
And why has she been, as long as we've known Ifrica, this has been a theme of hers. She's always stepped up for young girls and young boys in domestic violence situations. That's what she's always done.
Well, she can end up as a role model, almost. For all the other victims, and they can say, well, look, Ifrica's come out, and she feels a lot better now for herself. But I think one of the things
last thing about, because look at the time. Last remark.
Oh, sorry, you talk about the families coming more together and being more protective. They have to change the way of thinking to do that. It's a moral thing. This is very much a moral thing. And what is morally right to one person is not necessarily morally right to the next person.
We need to
and
go
so
back
on.
to a place where most of us agree on what good morals are, DJ. That's exactly what's wrong with this world. Everybody has their own little
Yeah.
moral. There used to
Yeah.
be a time when we all kind of agreed what was the human thing to do, and we need to go back to that time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Back to basics, really,
Exactly.
truly.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
for this topic. We need to switch because look at this. My goodness, we are going so very, very
So
fast
we will
this
keep
hour.
you updated as this story.
Yes, please be on it
unfolds.
like a
Yeah.
rash and tell us everything you know. There's a comment coming in. I see Rosalind saying exactly. Yes, Rosalind, that's exactly how I feel. Donna Mattis is watching. Donna, I wonder what your take is on this story. Let us know in the comments. Okay, topic number 2 being my topic. Have you heard of Extinction Rebellion? Who they are?
I thought it was extinct. No.
No, it's very much alive. Extinction
I know,
Rebellion,
yes.
for people in other parts of the world, is this grassroots organization fighting to hold back the climate crisis as much as possible, keeping everybody on their toes. They are doing demos in a rather different way from other people. They are a nuisance, which is a good thing because at least, you know, if there's a demo somewhere.
It's not just about climate change, though, is it? They also represent stopping certain species of animals from becoming extinct because of what people are doing in the rainforests, for example.
It's all linked. It's all linked to each other. They are there fighting for our planet. They are the grassroots organization are very young people. These are people who are going to be, you and I, DJ, are going to leave behind on this earth when we die. And it's our generation and the ones above us who made a mess of this earth. And we're leaving behind the dump for these youngsters. And all they want to do is be very creative about the way that they demonstrate for the world that they will inherit from us when we pass on. So it's a global movement. I'm going to talk about what happened last weekend here in the Netherlands. Extinction Rebellion had announced a series of demonstrations right on the A12, the A12 being one of our big highways leading to The Hague, which is the center of power in the Netherlands. That's where all the ministers are, and the prime minister and the parliament is in The Hague, not in Amsterdam, as most people seem to think. So there's a tunnel right when you enter The Hague, and the road that you see there is that A12. It's a big highway going all the way from the east of the country to the west, and it ends right there in The Hague. That's where these people did their demonstration. It was very much announced. Everybody knew it was going to happen, and it turned out that many people attended. Not only demonstrators themselves, but if you look carefully on the sides of the picture, you can see a lot of people standing there being witness. In fact, 25,000 people were there Saturday and Sunday and even Monday. The police ended the thing on Monday because they did it. They said they were going to block that piece of highway every day at about noon and until somebody wanted to listen to them. That did not happen. Right. So here you see the huge number of people there in the neighborhood of that highway. And you see their slogan, planet over profit. Because what is the case? Let me explain to you. This specific demonstration is about the tax profits that the Dutch government is giving to the biggest polluters. We have an organization here in the Netherlands called Milieudefensie. They have translated it into Friends of the Earth Netherlands. And they have calculated that the Dutch government gives 37.5 billion euro in what they call fossil subsidies. And this is, like a tax profit. You don't pay that. We're going to pay a little bit of that for you. The more you use electricity, the less you're going to pay. That's the kind of rule that the Dutch government now has. And it is all, these are the big industries that are profiting from these subsidies. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So you just answered the question I was about to. Mm-hmm. These subsidies, that they're actually it's actually cash. Bottom line, isn't it?
It is my money as a taxpayer.
It's tax breaks. It's tax
Yes,
breaks.
it's tax breaks. That's the word. And
Mm.
they're giving it to the biggest polluters.
Mm.
Little, smaller companies, medium companies are paying, you know, everybody knows the energy prices have gone up. They are paying the normal price. It's the big guys and girls who are getting cuts.
And what's their justification for doing that? To encourage them to incentivize them to be a bit more climate change aware, etc. I don't know.
Say again? No, it's the opposite. The government is telling these industries, the shipping, the air traffic, the non-durable electricity, and especially the oil industry. The Dutch government is saying, you are our big ones. We are proud of you. We need you here. We're going to help you out. So we're going to give you those breaks.
But how do they justify that? What's their justification?
I haven't heard a proper justification, to be totally honest.
Right. But they're open. It's parliamentary. They have to give reasons why they're doing it. But
well,
yeah.
You know that our right now
it's called a democracy, isn't it?
Yes, but you know that we have no proper government right now because, of course, they remember a couple of weeks ago our prime minister pulled the plug. So this is all part of the whole thing, is what I'm saying.
Oh, right. So they're using that time, this particular moment in time. They're smartly exploiting this window because of the turmoil in politics.
Yeah. I don't think the government is in any way, shape, or form inclined to come back on these breaks. But
no,
the thing that really gets me about this, though, is the double standards in the Netherlands when it comes to demonstrations. You know that in a democracy, people have a right to demonstrate, right?
Right.
These demos are announced in accordance with all the rules. You have to announce that you'll be going on a demo. You have to, kind of come up with a number of people that will attend.
So they can police it. Yeah.
Yes. We've been having a lot of demos lately in the Netherlands. This is just one group. This is a group, as I was saying, demonstrating for the future of the earth. The other group in the Netherlands that has been very, very vocal and very, very all over the place are the farmers. But the farmers are never, ever apprehended. They are not arrested. There's a police force. The police people make jokes with the farmers. And that's the double standards. The farmers the farmers have actually shut down the country a couple of times because they block highways with their tractors and their whatever. And everybody lets them. Whereas these young people, look what happened.
Yeah, they think these people are trouble. They look at them. They look at, they just think they're trouble.
They arrested 2,500 people, including minors.
For what reason?
For whatever they call. I don't even know how you call that in English. How do you call that?
What crime did they commit?
What they did is they blocked civil life. You probably know the English
so by blocking, in other words, the A12, I think you said they blocked that road. Therefore, that's disruptive because no traffic can pass through that road.
Yeah,
but that's the whole point.
When thousands of farmers were blocking that exact same spot with their tractors,
right?
Nothing
I
happened.
see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. So they like
2,500 people. 2,500 people were arrested. I read yesterday that the police then went on, in the case of minors who were there with their parents, the police went on to report those parents to the organization that decides whether or not you are fit to parent your own child. So that organization has now received, I don't know how many notifications of young children being abused by their parents because their parents took them to this demo. Is that double standards? I wonder.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. So what is it? What is it then that I'm playing devil's advocate here. What is it that the government, because they must be behind a lot of whether the police should, how heavy-handed they should be. What is it that they don't like about Extinction Rebellion that they don't mind about the farmers?
Well, I don't really think that any government in this world, except maybe Barbados, is actually working towards the social development goals that we all signed for in Paris a couple of years ago. And that some of us ratified. Of course, not the Netherlands. The Netherlands never ratify. They just say,
America US pulled out of it, didn't they?
Exactly. So this whole climate thing, I mean, you've been gone for a while from this part of the world, but this whole climate thing is part of the whole polarization. It's right-wing people saying there's nothing wrong with the climate. That's just the Earth regulating itself. And the people protesting against climate, the climate crisis are out there. I don't know what they are. They are disrupting.
They're just protesting
society
for the sake of protesting because they want to be rebellious because they're anti-establishment, that kind of thing. But I think climate change. I think a lot of it is nature, but I think humans don't help. And they definitely contribute to making it worse. But I believe personally, I can't prove it, that the bulk of it is actually natural. I'm not saying we shouldn't be concerned about climate change.
So if it's all natural, what sparked it according to you?
I didn't say all natural. I said
no. If most of it is natural, what sparked it according to you? Why is it we're suddenly seeing how many dead people in Libya today because of freak floods?
I know, the flood,
why, DJ Conscious, is there a hurricane in the Mediterranean? Why?
I know. But
but that's the questions we need to ask. Why do we have hurricanes in Scotland? Why do we have typhoons in I don't know where? Why?
Well,
that's the question we need to be asking.
Yeah.
And why is it all of a sudden?
It's because it's got to a point, where the planet can't cope anymore. And
cope with what?
Cope with protecting the planet from extreme weather conditions, for example.
No, I don't understand what you're saying. The world cannot, the Earth cannot cope with what?
What do you mean? It can't cope with.
That's what you said. The Earth cannot cope with what?
What's the word? Geologically, almost geologically, it can't cope, and that's why I said with weather conditions, because it's
why
weather.
But why are those weather conditions what they are?
No, a lot of it.
We got polar caps melting. That's a reason.
And
no, but that's the reason. Why are polar caps melting? That's what we need to ask ourselves.
Because the planet has got hotter and it's warmed up.
Why has the planet gotten hotter?
And what I'm saying is a large part of that I still believe is Mother Nature, but also a part of that is the human factor. The contributions that the industry has done, CO2 gases, for example, pollution. It's just warmed up the planet.
Okay. And Rosalind says the Earth has tilted. Yes, it has. That is why we're having summer in September. But we cannot deny the fact. We cannot deny the fact that humans are digging out this Earth in the most excruciating way. Are putting a lot of pollution in the air in a most excruciating way.
Yeah.
That also is happening.
No, absolutely. I'm not denying that one bit. I'm saying there is a large part of this is down to human is contributed from humans.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. But go on.
If that is the case, why are we not having a normal conversation about this? Why is it that I get the feeling that every government on Earth is saying, up yours with your climate. We don't care.
Because they're putting profits before the placard says, profit before planet, or whatever, however it said it. Planet, not profits. I think that's what it said. That's exactly what it is.
There have been so many people already who know what they are talking about, telling us, you can make a whole heap of money as well if you just, stop your fossil. There must be a limit to the natural resources we can extract from this earth.
Well, I mean, look,
they took millions and millions of years to form. All that oil we are putting in our cars, it took millions of years to form. We go, extracting it.
But that's why, in theory, a lot of governments are to an extent pushing electric cars, for example.
But they're not making the infrastructure so that I can get an electric car. If I want, if they want everybody to have an electric car, there should be an electric point in every house where we can charge our bloody car.
Well, yeah.
Now I need to go out in the street, three streets from where I live, in the Dutch storm, hope to find one of those pillars where, of course, I have to pay. I don't mind paying. I have to pay for my gas as well. But make it easier for me to charge my car, and I'll get an electric car.
I think the whole sell of convincing people that an electric car is the way to go, let alone the charging stations, which is what you're referring to, but it needs a lot of work, because a lot of people aren't convinced that they're not even convinced that.
But we've been knowing about electric cars for 25 years. We've known they were coming. Why have we not prepared for that? Why have we not prepared for the hydro car? Everybody knows the hydro car is going to come. You just go to a tap and you fill your car, and off you go, driving all the way to Italy. No problem.
I mean water-powered electricity.
Water-powered. No, it's not even electric. The hydro car just drives on water.
It's an energy. Yeah. It's energy. Yeah.
It's energy. Rosalind, as the astrophysicist Mr. Tyson says, I think you mean Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. If they talk about it, they're probably that we can make the moon habitual, then surely we should start here on Earth first.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of little typos. Yes, that's exactly my point. Now, all of a sudden, we want to go to Mars and we want to go to the moon. We screwed up Earth. Is that what we're going to do in the rest of the universe? We're going to go to Mars and screw up Mars, and then we're going to go to the moon and screw up the moon?
That's just egos. That's just egos, the moon and Mars thing. And Branson and Musk, space tourism. That's egos and making a bit of money on the side as well. But
that too.
That's nothing to do with, they don't they don't care.
They don't care, and all they think about is money, money, money. Let me.
Well, Musk would actually counteract that, because he's Tesla, which is electric cars. So he would say, how can anyone say he doesn't care?
Tesla is paying for all the space shit right now. Even NASA is very dependent on Tesla,
because of
which worries the hell out of me. Right. NASA is very, very dependent on Tesla. They are making the rockets right now,
and then because Musk is in space tourism, just like Branson. But,
just like Branson, and what's the other guy's name? Bezos.
Oh, the Amazon guy. Yeah. Is he doing space tourism? I can't remember.
He's all about space tourism. All of them are.
Oh, okay.
All of them are. And that's probably because of the shape of a rocket.
If you were given $1 million, would you do space tourism? If you were given paid to do it?
Not. Why on earth would I do that?
For $1 million? That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't. I would turn it down.
Of course I would. I'd say, give me your $1 million. I'm gonna build schools. I'm gonna make sure that people in Jamaica know when to report sexual abuse. I'm gonna, work on the women's situation in the whole world. That's what I would do with $1 million.
Yeah,
not go up in some kind of phallic thing.
You'd spend it sensibly.
Yes,
and
responsibly.
In a way that's responsibly. That's a better word. In a way that's going to improve things for people and the planet.
For all people and planet, yeah. There's a last thing. I just want to show you this picture quickly because I thought it was a great picture still of that demonstration.
Oh, wow. Great silhouettes. Yeah.
I know. It's a wonderful picture. I stole it. Thank you for whoever made this. Thank you for making a great picture. And what they also did, which really, really, really touched my heart. As you might know, I'm a substitute presenter on classical radio. So I listen a lot to that channel. And one day, a couple of days ago, I heard a young woman who was a guest in one of the classical radio programs. And she was calling on musicians and singers to join this demonstration because they were going to make a huge concert showing government, this is a peaceful demo. This is how we feel. We are scared. We are doing it for everybody. And we're going to make it look and sound fantastic at the same time. And this is what came out. 180 musicians joined this thing. And this is what came out. It's been in my head for days.
180. Wow.
We gaan vandaag geschiedenis schrijven. Give it up!
Bravo, bravo.
Bravo indeed. And don't tell me that these are hooligans. If you know this is Mozart, by the way, the Dies Irae in his Requiem. Beautiful music. If this is the way you want to do your demo.
Yeah, man, I'm all for that, definitely.
Yeah. Rosalind says, wow, it's very emotional, positivity and love rules. Yes, it is our strongest weapon.
Yeah,
I do agree, Ross. Yes, I do.
We should let's all unite. That's what it should be.
That's what we come back to every time, don't we, DJ?
One of my favorite reggae songs of all time. Let's all unite. Hugh Mundell, if you know that one.
Lovely. I do. It's a beautiful song. And that is exactly what we need to do. We need to stop fighting each other. And stop blaming everybody for having a different opinion. Look, you and I had some difference in opinion today. We're talking.
Yeah.
We made an hour and more than of lovely conversation because we don't agree on everything. It's feasible. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, debate is about not just your own opinions, but listening to other people's, even if they're different to yours, and striking some sort of balance and you know, compromise and a lot of the governments today, when it comes to climate change as well, are lacking that. They are too protective of their own industries and the money. It comes down to profit again that it brings in, to actually demonstrate the real desire to make real change.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And they are setting the bad example. Used to be your government, your church, your teachers, those people, your parents used to be the ones giving you the example.
Yeah.
Government, church, schools, teachers dropping out because they are underpaid. So there's no more teachers really invested in making this a better world. And parents, where the hell are you? Why do parents not stand up for the future of their child?
So given all that, given those 4 examples that you just said, where do people look to them? If they can't get it from the parents, if they can't get it from schools,
Facebook and Instagram.
Exactly, and that's a slippery slope. That is not the way to go. Social media is in some instances is a lot of people have said it is a disease. It's not good. Too much social media, I think, can be very unhealthy.
True, it is.
And to the extent I'm limiting myself now to screen time. It gets to the point now where I'm saying I'm not doing this anymore. Screen time.
We should all stop and start talking to each other again. DJ, time's up. Rosalind has a good question. Can we have a fun and happy subject next time, please? Yes, we can, Ross, but you must help us there. Send us a message and come up with something, because we are racking our brains every week to come up with subjects. And if you know me a little, which you do, Rosalind, you know I'm somebody who likes to get worked up about stuff. And DJ.
Yeah, but it's like you know, most newspapers and most of the news is bad news, because that's what sells. But we're not we're not making any money from this. We're just doing this.
We just worried citizens of this world, and we would love to come up with a couple of happy topics. We had a few already, Ross. Please inbox me with some ideas so that we can work on those, because what we would actually like is one serious topic and one happy topic every time. That would be best. And on that subject, next week, DJ, I must alert you, there will be no show, because I will be in Belgium for my television program, my other television program, the one that pays the bills so I can do this television program. And it might even be that the week after that, I won't make it either. So everybody, if you love this program, stay tuned. On Twitter, I will make you know. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, I will make you know that when the next episode of the Wenzzzday Ting will be.
Yeah.
Let's hope I only have to miss 1 week. One more comment coming in. Rosalind says she'll do her best. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Rosalind.
Anything we can, it's something that catches your fancy. We can do the work. You just need to tell us what it is that you want us to talk about. All right? Okay, great. DJ,
and you can always take part yourself, Rosalind. You can be on the screen just like we are.
Yes, Rosalind, but not anymore. Normally, when I show you the QR code, that's when you quickly scan it to join us in the studio. So I don't know if you want to do that, but it would be lovely to have you as a guest one time, especially if it's your subject that we will be talking about.
Absolutely. That's the key. Yeah.
Yes. What's all this? Oh, she's camera shy. No way. She's camera shy. But you look so great on camera. So is DJ, and I used to be camera shy. The best way to get over camera shy is to get on camera, but I will not force you. But I love that you are very active in the comments, and it would be great if you could come up with a subject once in a while. That's it for now, DJ.
Okay, so, thanks, Poca.
I'll thank you. I'll see you in 2 weeks or 3 weeks' time. We will be liaising in the meantime. All right?
Bless.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, bye.
So do I. Hope you enjoyed. Hope we got you thinking.
PocaTV, Wenzzzday.